And I have to say, nothing that he said was new to me personally. It's things we already know, it's things we should be doing, but most of the time we sell ourselves short.
This gentleman is like, don't film me, please. It's like, no, kids, I'm serious. I was like, no, I get Laisa. And the Tempara ended up saying, which I consider very rude. You can't say that if...
And in that statement, he mentioned a lot of things. He made a lot of good arguments. But in the end, he made one line that really just destroyed everything he said. You know?
Pull up, say jump.
Jump!
Yes, sir. I like the energy.
That's what's up.
I like the energy.
Yeah. Up and rolling.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Jump Podcast. I'm joined by my co-host, Aus to me, and
Hi.
our other new co-host, Chris Taco. Yeah. So, welcome, sir. Welcome, madam.
All
Thank
good,
you.
all good.
Lemonade.
No, I'm breathing.
You're breathing.
I know for today, for some weird reason, odd reason, I'm okay. I'm excited.
Okay.
I mean, why wouldn't I be? I mean...
And Chris, how
I
you
have
doing,
to.
I'm great, man. Life is good.
Yeah.
Shout out to all the Chelsea fans out there. We're the world champions, so we're great.
Okay.
I knew it.
Manchester United people, let's say, eh?
Hey, unfortunately, I can't say anything.
Yeah, you're not a football.
Hey, well, I don't know anything
About
besides
soccer.
parrots and chiefs, bull, gimo. I tell you, hey, what kaze kungost dane?
Oh no, I'm not hosting you. I'm just saying.
Low key.
I think
Low key, it feels like.
she needs to get a proper boyfriend.
Yeah.
One who will say,
Yeah.
in Chelsea, so.
Hey guys, I'm single by the way. Do
Guys,
you have?
send your application down on the comments. You know, we can hook you up. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm single.
Show way between the jump. All you need is love.
No, I love that. I love that.
All right, guys, we're shooting live at Panda Nightclub, as you can see from the background. And you can see the aesthetics. We're kind of in a tropical rainforest. As you know, as you can see, we have like like our little rain, you know, like humidifier, so we can breathe differently. Today we're breathing fresh.
For sure.
Yeah, we're living in the wilderness.
We're here.
We're in the wilderness. So
We're here.
these are sponsored by Twiggy, TWGI. They are found at Maseru Moonstar Complex, ground floor, room 3, opposite Alliance, Mahawana Fashion World. So when you get there, how about this humidifier in a well, it is a cloud. It'll cost you about 380. And then if you're looking for this humidifier, it has a little class.
Levels.
You know, it also changes colors. Leonagi 300. And the still table where we're putting our drinks and the humidifier, Clive Managa 250. The flower, the tall one, it's 600. I think that's one. Oh, it's 1,000. And then this one is 600. So make sure you visit, you get your aesthetics, make your house nice. You know, they got all the things. So we'll show you like the directions below. You can go and get your things. They're very nice, guys. Like, they're very nice.
You know, one thing I like and dislike about that shop, they have nice things, but they will chow the money. Because I always say, when you go to that shop, when I went there one time, I have this in my house. I did not plan to get this.
But you ended up
you
getting
know,
it
but I was like,
anyway.
oh, this is nice.
It's giving a homely vibe.
Yeah, even if I like mobile money because I didn't have the cash. So the nice thing is you can also, you know, swipe, pay via, you know, those mobile money, whatever. So but it's a nice shop if you want to make your house.
Not just Majida, even ladies. How to sing?
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
I thought ke Majida vela.
No, honestly, even ladies.
Oh, no. Nice. Good to know.
And vibes.
O sontso na le bo digaba, o sontso na le di pizza see. Oh, and also if you know somebody that works at ShopRite, ba rekisa mabidi ana di trolley ka mona, so I know recommend
By servicing.
para ba reke mabidi ano a di trolleys ka nna tsa magane keke, you know.
Yeah, for sure.
So guys, a lot has been happening. A lot has been happening throughout the week. We had a master class session at Mantabisen Convention Center with Wodemaya. Wodemaya was educating young content creators or all content creators about
content
the
creators in
importance
general.
of content creation and how you can get your stuff rolling. And Chris, I believe you were in attendance.
Yeah.
So can you give us like a brief of how things went down?
First things first.
Yeah.
Shout out to Wodemaya.
Yes.
You know, ever
Shout out
since
to
he
him.
came in the country,
Yeah.
did what he did, things have just taken a turn.
Yeah.
Seen a lot of influencers, African influencers, big celebrities. I mean, Black Coffee's ex-wife was here.
Oh, yeah,
also,
yeah,
you know, and Kembali. A lot of people have started coming to Lesotho and actually paying attention to Lesotho. To say, oh, there's a country where it snows. Like, it's in Sadi Hong Kong, like not fake
the
snow,
real
but
snow.
the real snow. So
Yeah.
it's not Sweden, it's not Finland, it's not Iceland, but it's in Africa, you know. So
Yeah.
people are starting to really come, and even other content creators have followed in his footsteps. Steven Ndoku was here also.
Tato Rampedi.
Tato Rampedi, you know, and they're like, oh, this is nice, you know. And while he was here, he decided, you know what, let me just have a masterclass for content creators, influencers in Lesotho, and just you know, encourage them, inspire them, you know, show them it's doable.
It's doable.
You know, and I went there, and I have to say, nothing that he said was new to me personally. It's things we already know. It's things we should be doing, but most of the time we sell ourselves short. One thing that he emphasized on is we need to be content creators that are intentional about serving not only Basotho but even Africans. The world is big.
Worldwide.
The digital space has made the world very small. So we need to take advantage of that. Now, when we are here in Lesotho creating content, most of the time, we tend to use our native language, you know. And Wodemaya is from Ghana, but he does his content in English. He's not using the native language of Ghana, you know. And it's something that he emphasized on. And he was also talking about how we have the resources. Your phone is your resource. Your ring light is your resource. You know, these things are here, but we're not using them. Yes, we understand there's a big challenge that we need to be addressing, and the government needs to help us also, as Lesotho being seen as a country that should also come into play when you talk monetization. We're not monetizing. You know, for you to have your YouTube monetizing, you have to register an SA, and then, you know, we can talk about Instagram, you know, Facebook. Gradually we're getting there. You know, I learned something though, that Instagram does not necessarily pay influencers. You cannot monetize on Instagram. This I learned from him. And I also learned something, that TikTok does not pay African content creators. You know, and a lot of Africans use TikTok. The only way you can benefit from TikTok is by
body sponsor,
you know, collaborations with brands, you know, partnerships, all those kind of things. But getting money from TikTok, you won't be getting it, you know. And it's not just Lesotho or it's African content creators, which is something also that needs to be taken serious now going forward, because we are here creating, but
nothing.
Yeah.
We're not ripping anything.
yeah. And it was interesting because there was 501 content creators and influencers.
That's dope.
501.
That's
501. You know, I was impressed to see. There's people who came from as far as Botawote,
Dang.
you know, Puting, Mahalishoek. You know, I was talking to one guy who said he was from Puti. I'm like, you came only for this? He said, I came here just for this, to learn from this guy. You know, so I mean, shout out to him. That was big.
That was very insightful.
That was great. But
I have a question though. What did he say about journalists? I heard something was going on. I didn't really get the clip. Apparently, somebody asked a question about journalism and the digital space. What did he say?
Yeah, one of the OG journalists, Dr. Francis, asked him during the question and answer. He asked Wodemaya about citizen journals. You know,
Okay.
Content creators masquerading as journalists. Let me just put it like that. And his answer was brief. He was saying the world is evolving. Journalists must also evolve with the world. You know, if you're gonna wait for a newspaper that comes out on Friday to tell you what happened on Monday, it'll be old news. So we need those citizen journals. We need those content creators to, you know, show us that the world is evolving. And if journalists want to be left behind, they'll be left behind. So that's another topic we should be having.
Yeah.
You know? We should be talking
there was,
about
a lot of commotion. I was so confused. I was like, what did he exactly say? Was he insinuating that content creators are journalists? What was he saying exactly? That was my point, because it was really a lot.
So we were on a point there, journalism. Just tap into it. I just want to hear from. We have two professional journalists. You guys do this thing for a living, and I know we've had this topic before, Luena, Chris, about like how is the journalism in the country and how is the landscape and stuff. But Kore, I just want to hear Kabutibo more into like social media as a whole, or what's your take on how should things be conducted, or how are things moving at the current climate?
Damn, I'm gonna let you take this one first.
You know, I always say journalists are content creators. You know, we can see the way they do their things, the resources they use. You know, it's in them basically. I'm a content creator. You know, and journalists are also influencers.
Yes.
Journalists
a big
are probably the OG influencers before there was the term influencers, you know. So I don't understand this facade and a lot of commotion about the content creators taking journalist jobs. You know,
they can never.
It's impossible. It's impossible. So we just need to acknowledge that the world is evolving, and as the world evolves, we need, as journalists in the newsroom, in the from all the media houses, radio stations, television, we need to evolve. There are some media houses that still don't have a Twitter account, you know, a YouTube account, even a Facebook page, you know.
For sure.
And I don't understand that mindset in 2025.
And LinkedIn as well.
LinkedIn as well, you know.
Very good.
Where do you share information? You know, do we still have to wait for a newspaper to come out on Thursday, on Tuesday, on Saturday, on Friday? No, it's old news.
Outdated.
The world moves so. You see something trends today on Facebook, like tomorrow we've forgotten about it.
Exactly.
In the newspaper, it's old news now. We've forgotten about it.
And news are very timely, guys. We shouldn't forget. Horidaba are very timely. This is why. In many cases, in fact, in all cases, time is a very crucial, part of journalism. Obviously, I'm gonna post. I post and say, guys, I'm bleeding. I'm a content creator as well. I probably would do that. So where Mela Hore, a certain newspaper, damn, that's so outdated.
Yeah.
Like that's so 2008.
I remember in 2021, I had my first accident on the job as a journalist.
Yeah.
I fell while capturing an industrial firm that was burning gas station.
Yeah. Why were like
So in the yard, there's two buildings. There's a warehouse and there's a factory.
Yeah.
The factory was burning. The warehouse is adjacent to the factory. So when I got there was already other journalists that I know in the field. When I got the call, I was in the newsroom. There's a factory burning industrial area. We got in the car, went. I have my camera. It's here, the camera. But also on the phone, I have to go live because this is what she's talking about. This is happening now.
Now
you
we need to see it
I'm
now.
going live.
Yeah.
While I was going up to the top of the warehouse, because there was a way you could climb on top of the warehouse to get a clear view of what's happening. I didn't realize that as you were going, there's you see this kind of roofing that is sort of a plastic-ish or I don't know, is it plastic? But
I see what you're talking about.
Yeah,
It
brings light. Yeah, it brings light. Yes, yeah. So I stepped on one of them on top of the roof. Yeah. So I fell, went straight down.
Dang.
You know, but I was live on Facebook.
Dang.
With the media house I was working for, with the Facebook page. So when it happened, I was live. Even when I fell down.
When the phone is
And it's on record.
It's still recording. People can hear what's happening there. I was just saying, you know, sometimes the risks we go through as journalists, but sometimes we need to be very cognizant of the ethics and the principles. Even though we're doing our job as journalists, we need to respect the people. We need to be aware of their surroundings that we are in. You know, you can't just accident just happens and then a car accident and then you take people who are lying down injured, you know, and you go live with that and you take pictures and you post them and you know there's other things, or someone passes on, a public figure, and then you go and you post about that. There's something that we go after as journalists, which is breaking news. I want to be the first one to break the news. Sometimes we need to be careful. We need to know first, is the family aware? You know, have they even given the permission for this? Is there a statement at least? You know, you need to allow time for people. Don't break news. Someone once said to me, journalists don't respect families because she found out about someone close to them that they've passed on through a Facebook post. You know, and
it's so sad.
That is very sad.
So
you know,
sad.
A case that I've been in where it involves you, after Malome Vector, the passing of Malome Vector, I knew about it, and the people around me, we knew about it before it got out onto the news. And then Chris called me. It's like, yo, I hear this and that, so you might be closer to the story. Is it true?
Yeah.
Then I confirmed. I was like,
That's exactly how it should be done.
Chris, he did not post until immediately.
Yeah.
But a lot of people were posting.
We were talking about it actually earlier.
And then he posted it. They said it later on. You know, like, out of respect, the involved parties, process. Okay, this actually did happen. Someone or you know.
And sometimes we get it wrong. On that incident, the first reports were saying all parties in the car died. The other one was saying 4 people died. You know, so.
And funny thing is, Nessen's about disclosure, my beat. You get what I mean?
That's another thing.
Yeah. Just to echo on what he has said, I always tell people that I was, or rather I am still human before I became a journalist, right? So it means through everything, I still need to remember the fact that I'm human.
Yeah.
It doesn't say now me being a human being, me being compassionate in but out of human basic decency, we need to remember that we're human.
Yeah.
Also, in journalism, there are also many categories, just as he has mentioned. Also, there's a manner in which you're going to report an obituary, whether or not you're going to draft it. There's a manner from it's just a minority, a prominent individual. There's just a lot you need to consider. It's not just about being the first person to break the news. It's not even that important anymore. What's important is credibility. Verification is what you're saying, factual, so on and so forth. Like it's so low, it's such a low blow. Like it's giving you
attention seeking.
Like,
I hear you. Yeah, so it brings me to the thing that happened Motowa Meloli Airwaves.
Waves.
Airwaves.
Yeah.
No, not waves.
Yeah.
It's airwaves.
Yeah.
Meloli Airwaves. Where there was an accident and something happened. Can you break that down, or like you actually read the thing?
And she was so heavily invested.
I saw this one coming for sure. I knew we were gonna get to this point. So before I even got to watch the whole thingy, he was live, right?
Yeah.
There were already posts circulating from the platforms that were not fapana hore ntate Mpahama o gagatuwe ba ne a sitiswa ho etsa mosebetsi wa hae, something like that.
Yeah.
Ba ne ba di work at different, right? So I went and watched the live video. Unfortunately, it was just too long and I couldn't, But then
I fast forward.
Well, I didn't, But then I later saw a snippet nyana sebontang what really happened. So I heard more he was trying to film the whole thingy. And there were other gentlemen. This gentleman is like, don't film me, please. It's like, no, kids, I'm sorry. I was like, no, I get hlaisa. And the Papa ended up saying, which I consider very rude. You can't say that if you want to film this.
Yeah.
And then Ntadenwa ended up saying, he was given, this is my personal property, so I can't just shift.
Yeah.
It was like really an altercation. The sounds, grabbed the phone.
Yeah.
Now there's like a physical fight happening, right? Yeah, but I posted even before I watched that, because I was like, the manner in which you're going to approach an emotionally charged situation as a journalist matters.
Yeah.
Accidentally, you're not sure. I haven't talked about menswear or something. I'm like, it talks about your mental state and the intensity of your mental state. How do you feel like accidenting? Number one, and you're here, got the flashlight, you want to report this. I even made an example posting, I'm like, there are many ways to report such. You can just stand at a very respectful distance, alternative routes. Not everything needs to be documented. You don't necessarily need to shove your cameras in people's faces to prove that you were there. You get what I mean? I've talked about this. Kikilaka Challenge on Newsroom Africa. I talked about this. This is not the first and this is probably not the last. I'm not saying things I believe majority of us wouldn't be able to do, but how you go about it matters.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? You need to be very vigilant of every single external factors. He could have died. They just lost it. You get what I mean? So you need to be very careful. It just doesn't. And the funny thing is, I get people are saying, but I get it, but who doesn't make it right. It doesn't make it right. Yeah.
Chris, your take about the entire thing?
I totally agree with Tumi. Sometimes when a situation like that happens, you have to judge it also.
Thank you.
As a journalist, you have to be very intelligent. You judge a situation. A person just got out of a car accident. You are not going to interview them at that point.
Yeah, read the room.
Two, if they say please don't show, you need to understand. And even their reaction towards you is I've never been hit by a car, but I have a friend who's been hit by a car. And how I was there, and that person wasn't being high in a state, it's on a normally. He's following
shooting high.
aggression, emotions, all over the place. So when the first thing you want to do is shoot them, interview them, and all that. So you need to judge the situation before you go into it. And sometimes we overdo things.
Yeah, unnecessarily.
We overdo things unnecessarily. There was no reason for him to really go into the personal bubble here. The guy, he could have just, as she said, stand a bit of a distance, and capture. And also another thing is why. If you're doing it because you want to warn the public to say, use alternative routes. You don't even have to be there.
Exactly.
Inside, show everything.
Exactly. And it's the main why nothing else. How an accident, it's the main why is Elan cloak. That's it.
Exactly. So when you now are intervening with sometimes evidence, you
have to be away from the
exactly.
So maybe after the incident I think just because of the publicity maybe he has gotten from that, now he's just trying to run.
No, it was still so wrong still.
Yeah, I'm just saying now you were interviewing the pressure. People like accident. Now he's trying to turn that into his brand. Had the accident now I have to be like mama, how do you feel? And I think maybe somebody in this camp needs to my guy, who is a Oscar, don't step into certain boundaries. We know you got your 5 minutes of fame, but don't let that control
the narrative and everything. You know what's funny? How he's saying Mutoha in the right mental state and we're now about to interview. You're interviewing me. Chances are get over information foresight and based on what I'm currently feeling high. So you're gonna go ahead and publish that. Flip and phone you get what I mean? So it's really so wrong.
Also, we need to know boundaries. You need to know boundaries. If they feel like Mutana is not in a correct mental state, they respect that level of boundaries.
Speaking of boundaries. Bokamoso FM.
I knew it. No, you wasn't gonna let this one slide.
No, it's because now I get it. Boundary. How people should conduct themselves, maybe, and I get it. Journalist workspace about being in the field. Part of being in the field, that's your workspace, and this is how you're supposed to conduct yourself. Now let's take all that work and then now let's put it in a closed environment where we're saying this is an office and now this is how we're supposed to conduct ourselves. From your recent post where you actually made like a hella thread, I needed to upload it somewhere, gave my mail as a podcast, ChatGPT read this for me, So I hear you went through
traumatic experience
at Bokamoso FM. And
can I correct you? It's Bokamoso 974.
Oh, there's no FM.
It's 974.
Okay, 974. Can you for the viewers and the people?
They've been waiting. Before I get don't you guys get tired of Dumia's done that all the time. It's becoming consistent now. All the time I'm up on these socials, being expressive and all.
Are you trying to reflect how you're feeling on us?
No,
Okay.
I was just an honest like opinion.
Well, like I'm talking about so.
Low key.
Tell it all.
Well, none of what I said on my post is a lie. That's me, that's my story, and that's my truth.
Yeah.
Ke entse internship ya ka mono.
Yeah.
And throughout my internship, at first, it was exciting. You know,
Yeah.
you're like, finally you get the chance to put theory into practice. Not that I haven't done that previously. I've worked with a local digital newspaper in SA. You remember I talked about it on our first episode. I've worked with MDDA. These are people from SA. I've worked with Dilapalapi.
MDDA, which?
No, it's like an organization that actually comes through for, this news media outlets. You get what I mean? Less privileged. Yeah. So it was good at first. It's a very long story, but I'm going to cut it short. The very first day I could feel that there's something off. Because I remember the person I was with when we went back to return the document, we're finally internship or whatever. She was like, I'm not going back there. Do you see so and so? And so I was like, man, it's okay. At the time, I was so desperate to get an internship. Now, and I only to find a mail where I've actually received an internship somewhere in Fakesback. It was a lot. Long story short, the energy didn't lie from the first day.
Yeah.
From the hospitality, how it wasn't really welcoming. Fast forward, we started. When they say energy doesn't lie, but we need. How can I in a room like I said, it's really a long story, and but particularly what people are interested in knowing is what really happened between me and the station manager.
Yeah.
Right? So this one other time, I was really going through a lot. I remember at one point, I even posted on Facebook, I was like, guys, how break her down? Where do you guys go and cry? And they were like, basement in Fashion World and cry and come back. I had to leave the press conference. I sat there and cried my lungs out. Were like, oh, so it wasn't giving PT, it was just like, do your thing. We can give you a chair. Yeah, it was that bad. And then Hannah going to say, we're then shifted from the newsroom, so a full journalist. We're then shifted to the programs department. That's when and then one point, coincidentally, we had a very unplanned meeting where the programs manager and the station manager were present, including all the interns. That's when we voiced out, this is what's happening. That's when the station manager was like, oh, I wasn't aware that you guys are even using your own money to at the station. I wasn't aware. Fast forward, in the midst of everything, she just turned to me on some, how old are you? I was like, I could feel it doesn't come from a place how old are you really?
Yeah.
It came from sassy. I was like, I'm in my 20s. It's like, you're in your 20s, I'm older than you and I don't even dress like that, I was wearing a very long denim dress, and because it's very hot, I cannot. Also, that's not even the main reason. We're attending press conferences with prominent people. Amongst Matuna or whatever. You get what I mean?
Yeah.
Mobility was the most convenient thing at the time for me as a journalist, not how I look. How I look mattered, yes, be presentable. Not, you get what I mean? So yeah, everybody was there. If they want to, they can attest. Every intern inducted. So that's what happened. That's what threw me off. I couldn't wait to get home and cry. I remember the first thing I did was just to cry. And my dad got up, was like, laptop, where's your phone? What's happening? You know? So that's literally the highlight for me, got the station, that comment, because it broke me. I was like, you can't do that to me. I'm not a weak individual like that, but there are things that, especially because I couldn't defend myself, because you wanna pass internship, or whatever, it broke me. And I decided I'm taking a break from this field. That's how I took a break up to date. On field like that, but I'm slowly getting my groove. I'm coming back. It sounds so dramatic, but believe you me, it's worse. What I just mentioned now on the post, it's not even 10% of what we went through there. From all departments, they can tell you.
Yeah, also 10%. Chris,
just 10.
You worked there before. You've been. I remember the previous episode we did with you. You did mention, but you didn't say the name of the station. You just like you went through some,
in this industry.
And then it gets about Sebeta Mono. From then it gets about Sebeta 357. Is it 357? The one in Masebu. Yeah, but most of your career, I think it was at Bokamoso.
Not really. Starting out 357 FM.
Yeah.
I did 4 years. 2016 to 2020. How I left was not nice. I resigned because there was a shift. You know, if a radio is commercial and it's for a certain purpose, the mission is it's directed to that, and then suddenly it changes. It happens a lot with a lot of radio stations. When a radio comes on, it's a Christian radio station. We'll only be doing Christian things, Christian topics, Christian music. And then they realize, oh, there's a cash cow where we can talk about politics and make money. You know, now they shift their focus. So that's what happened basically with 357 at the time. It shifted to politics. I was like, this is not what I signed up for. And it came with a lot of T's and C's. Now, we are no longer going to be paid. We have to work on commission. There was things that was clients. In that one meeting, I was like, no, I'm not gonna stay here. I was already working for a newspaper at the time. I was working for Newsday, writing both sports and entertainment. So I decided, let me just focus on print media, leave radio. I'm good. When I started out on 357 FM, I had told myself I want to do radio and be at 357 FM forever. When I left in that way, things changed. It broke me so much that when I left 2021, I was like, I don't want to do radio anymore.
Damn, that's sad.
It was 2020. A number of radio stations approached me. I was like, nah, I'm good. Plus, it was still at the height of COVID. I was like, let me just chill, see how things pan out, you know. 2021, early 2021, the former station manager at Bokamoso was always on my case. Shout out to Smangaliso Dlamini, by the way. He's back at SABC now. He's the programs manager at SABC One. He was the station manager then.
That's a big group.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, he contacted me. He kept coming. You know, he's like, my guy, I know you're a good radio host. I want you to join my team. You know, let's talk. And what I liked about him, he did what a lot of media houses or radio stations don't do in Lesotho. He made me an offer. And I was like, you're going to give me that for 2 shows? And that captured my attention. And from there, we started working. I started out with 2 shows on weekends while still also working for the newspaper. So, you know, like, I'm good. And then that was 2021, 2022, mid-2022. Actually, early 2023, not mid-20, late 2020, early 2023, beginning of 2023, I started doing, and late 2022, he resigned. He left Bokamoso. The former station manager went to SABC. We didn't know the details of why he left, but you could tell that there was
something was up.
Something is, you know, it was not being told to us directly. That's fine. We're here to work, not here to know who's doing what and not
why.
doing what. You know? An interim station manager is announced. There was one that was announced before the current one. He didn't last long. There was issues. It was obvious he was a temporary station manager. He didn't last long. Then that's when the current station manager was announced, Medin Keramata. When she was announced, it was also on interim basis, acting station manager. Okay, good. At that time, I was already doing breakfast show. I'm no longer just weekends. I'm Monday to Friday, 7 to 9 in the morning. Okay, good. First, soon after she took over, she suggested I do my show in Sesotho. I'm fluent in both Sesotho and English. The first time I won an award, I was nominated for Best Sports Journalist.
Yeah.
And it was a show I did purely in Sesotho. Purely in Sesotho. And a lot of people were shocked. Chris, how do you, you know? And I was proud of myself that I can fluently speak Sesotho that way, you know, to even get a nomination and an award. You know? And then when I got to the breakfast show, I was doing it, you know, it was a commercial, you know, breakfast show. It was not
relaxed vibe.
Hey. And so she said I should do it in Sesotho. I was like, Sesotho, I don't know if it's still gonna have the same effect, you know, but it's fine. Let's do it. 2 months down the line, she comes back. No, I think you should do it in English. I'm like,
I will.
I was doing it in English. You said I should do it in Sesotho.
Like,
what's
your
happening
point?
now?
What's your point?
No, we're trying to attract international audience that's gonna bring money. So I think, and my other concern was, why am I dealing with the station manager with issues that concern the programs manager? Programs manager is in charge of the programming, the language, the approach, you know, everything that has to do. You know, why am I not dealing? But that was fine. I was like, okay, let's do it in English. Went to English. And then while I was doing it in English, my show was was doing good.
Breakfast
a
shows are always
a lot of adverts, a lot of slots bought, you know, big corporates buying slots on my show. I was even complaining at some point that I'm not able to do the show I want to do because but that was fine because the radio was making money.
And guys, we also sell adverts here.
Exactly, you know.
Something. But remember, subscribe, like, and share.
For sure.
Exactly.
Yeah, continue.
So and then when I was doing that show, she calls me to her office. When I get there, she said, we're just gonna catch up. When I get there, there's other people. Some of them are new people to the radio station. Some I know, but they were still junior, you know. And I'm told in that meeting that I'm now being moved from breakfast back to weekend nights. Like, why? No, because we are shifting that show from the breakfast show that it is to a current affairs show. And now my question was, I'm a journalist. Why
you already do that?
Why, when you decide to change the show from what it is to a current affairs show, not approach me and say, can you be able to do this show?
Because it's something you can do.
I you know, actually, let me rewind. In 2022, under that the other interim station manager, I came up with an idea that we should have a current affairs show, and 1 hour current affairs show. We called it AM News. I was the first host of it because it was my idea. So when it started, I started it, but it was 1 hour, and then from 7 to 6, from 7 to 9, it's the breakfast show as it is. But because they did not increase the guap, the moolah, I decided I can't continue with this show if you're not going to increase my salary, because I was already doing the 2 shows on weekends.
Yeah, it's a lot.
So, and it came with a lot of work. 1 hour show, current affairs. It comes with a lot of research. You attend a lot of press conferences. You have to know everything happening in the country, whether it's political, sports, entertainment.
And you have to be accurate.
And you have to be accurate, you know. So I was like, it's too much work for me, but I'm not getting paid for it. So let me get They got someone to do it. It still continued. Until today, it's still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
But, you know, I was not.
You.
And then when they changed the breakfast to a full-on 3-hour current affairs show, they didn't ask me to do it. And I was like, but that's unfair. And then another thing she mentioned was I don't have time for Bokamoso 974 things. I was like, which things?
Yeah.
No, immediately when your show is done, you're leaving. Like, yeah, I have another job. We all know, it's known, hi Monana, for you to be able to survive, you need at least 2 or 3 jobs.
Especially
in the industry of media.
Yeah.
You cannot just say I'm a radio host and that's it.
Nah.
You know,
You know,
It's not gonna work.
you know, you have to make other means of income. So when I'm done with my show at 9, yes, I'll leave around Boma 20 past, quarter past. I leave to another job. You know, so it didn't make her happy, and but those are the main things I can mention why I ended up deciding, you know what,
To leave.
I need to just focus on what gives me peace and what makes me money.
Peace first.
She was just, there was a lot that she mentioned, a number of things that I could
it's a
relate
lot.
to. You know, on the hallway, you'd meet her, she would not greet you. You'd greet her, she would not greet back.
mean-
You know,
So-
and
Don't even go there.
in that alone, I wanted to conclude the topic. We are now in a world where when you're a journalist, or if you're an aspiring radio presenter, you guys can, like, people can create platforms like ours. You don't necessarily need radio anymore.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no longer a necessity if you have a God-given talent. There's a guy on TikTok, I forgot his name. Slender. You know, like the one he's mimicking, like who's this? Boba Chukada. Mimicking the radio goat.
Yeah.
He's actually earning bag from doing that. He's doing his talent on different levels. Well, what I'm saying is that people can explore their talents in different ways. You don't need to put yourself through a situation where you're not going to be appreciated. You don't have to. You can be your own boss these days.
Yeah.
You have that.
Yeah, the vision is only getting clearer now.
You guys are here at the jump.
Yeah.
You are willing to express yourself the way you want.
Yeah. Restrictions.
Restriction here, this and that and that.
Yeah.
And eventually the world will pick up, and we will pick up, and we'll get to where we need to be via this that we're doing. We can spread news the way we feel like it should be.
Yeah.
You know. So all I'm just saying is that I'm sorry you guys went through that. It was unfortunate, but you know, right now it's time for us to move on, create something big.
Yeah.
And I know we have a lot of groundwork to work on.
Yeah.
We'll be like the pioneers of this.
Yeah, we start somewhere.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
do you know what I liked about the whole thing and how it panned out because of her post?
Yeah.
It made me realize that we have a very bad tendency of not calling out people for doing bad. When she did the post, I did mine. Briefly, I said, there'll come a day where I say my
talk about
story
this, yeah.
about what happened there. And I kid you not, I got 3 calls and a number of messages of people who were saying to me, Chris, don't post your things on social media.
Oh, yeah. I don't see the comments as well.
Because you know, I'm talking calls. I'm talking big people who are saying you ruin, you know, your next employment. You do that. You do that. And I was like, I told one, I said, that is the reason why a lot of us, especially people who say, I like to say my 90s, you know, we are afraid to speak our mind.
Gen Z.
And I like the Gen Zs. The Gen Zs are bold and brave, and they speak their mind to say, I cannot take this. This is crap, you know. If you want me to respect you, respect me as well, you know.
Don't put out on blast.
Let it be like that, you know. They'll say, I greeted you and you did not respond. I'll never greet you again.
That's
you
my
know?
chat.
We will go through a whole year greeting a person who never greets us back. You know, just because
I know.
Showing that
respect, you know. So I was just saying, I love the Gen Zs, how they are about, you know, their peace and their you know what they are all about.
It was gonna happen eventually.
It was
I
bound to happen.
I told them, I was like, you cannot be ill-treating future journalists or people who are capable of ruining you. You're saying stuff in our presence. We know the ins and outs. You're hurting me. I have leverage. I can like ruin the whole thingy. I did mention it, honestly.
Yeah.
So there's another thing, mananle monetization. Well, I'm getting off Hanyano Holo, but I'm going back to the Wodemaya thing, where he was doing the hashtag Get Lesotho
Monetized.
Yeah.
I see the initiative of doing that, but that only served trend purposes. For me, Giboni is server trend purposes.
Yeah.
Okay, people are making that.
And that's that.
And then it got fell
Exactly.
So I actually went deep into how, why Sabi monetized. So I came across a phrase which is called digital colonization.
Colonization.
Yes,
Yeah.
colonization or digital Hey,
Sometimes,
colonization.
yeah.
So it refers to the ways in which technology is used to perpetuate and extend power imbalances and inequalities, often between developed and developing nations. It involves the control of exploitation of digital infrastructures, data, and platforms by powerful actors, primarily from the global north, to extract resources, influence policies, and maintain dominance. So this is a very broad topic, but I just wanted to give you a hint now. What do I want us to talk about? So it's more like talking data extraction by tech companies. Companies collecting and analyzing user data without proper consent or compensation, particularly in countries with weak data protection laws. Now, if you were to take your phone, okay, I'm gonna give. Let me just put it in an example form. I take my phone, I put it next to me. My girl is watching Love Island or Love is Blind or whatever. And then while she's watching, we're having a conversation about it. Look at her. Why did she do that and do that? The next 2 hours, I'm receiving a lot of
algorithm.
Love Island. Now, that is caused by the fine print that is given to us. Facebook is a free platform. Everyone is allowed to use Facebook in the country. You are allowed to register for Facebook. Do as you wish. But now, how restrict Facebook? How better on any photo on Facebook, allow us to use your microphone, allow us to use your camera. And then they give you a fine print, like, how would you mail because by fine print, if you don't know what fine print is, fine print ticket terms and questions.
Accept all cookies.
Yeah,
just like accept.
2 pages. Am I gonna read that of 802 pages? Amongst that 802 pages, we are gonna listen to your conversation, and we are gonna use your conversation to sell you products. Approach advertise it through us.
True.
One time I was telling somebody, hey man, hi, you want an all-star in blind? I wanna buy an all-star. Next thing, sports scene, all-star, Converse, get this discount, and this just proves we do not have Melao, every protector from people to mine our data. People could be in parliament, and you put your phone. You have Facebook, you're a parliamentarian, you have Facebook. You don't know who's listening to your conversation.
True.
And it's something that you have allowed them. You have pressed allow. Allow, accept.
Keywords.
So by digital colonization, this is where I was going. I was saying the reason why we face the challenges to monetization is because we do not own a share or any stake within the internet itself. And internet can trade abroad. It's big. The internet is vast.
For sure.
It doesn't mean how say this on Facebook you're using the internet. No, you're just using 0.5% of the internet or 0.0001. And that is them putting us in a box. How about YouTube? How about Facebook? So we do not own our own space.
Yeah.
How much space? I'm gonna put it in form. but we don't own the land.
Yeah.
So we don't have any control of how the rent is gonna be asked from us. So like, what are the terms and conditions? But no, it's basically that. That's why it's the loan. We don't monetize African countries, and the reason why is because they fight you with your own laws.
Yeah.
In a sense, Elon Musk, Starlink into Mozambique, right? He wanted to bring Starlink in SA, and then the South Africans are like, according to the BEE, you have to obey a formal building, lease, register a company in our country. Have a building, hire 50% of black people in your company, have 50% black people in the company, pay taxes, do this and that and that and that. Then Elon Musk is like, no, I want to operate my thing from the States.
My way.
They're like, no. Then Trump killing white people, close US aid. Yeah, what did we do? Close US aid. You know, and then now everyone in the Southern Africa is suffering because one person just wants to bring their company without following the rules. I liked the stand, SA, but they were too easy to fold. I feel like they were too easy to fold into demanded about one. But what I'm saying is that in SA, the reason why some people are able to monetize is because they have protecting laws. When you bring this and you bring that, you guys are protected by the government.
Let's reach a mutual ground.
So, bringing this back to us, I don't think we have those many data protective rights.
Nada.
Unless you have something that
no, we don't have because we have leaders that don't understand. Our leaders, and it's unfortunate that for that to happen, we need policies to be made. Policies are passed by who? The government, the leaders.
And it takes long.
You know, and if they are not, you know, if they are not aware of what's happening and all these things, we'll be behind on a lot of things because they don't understand. This tech international companies and all these social media companies, they will continue to take advantage and exploit Basotho because our leaders, even when they see that this is a need, they don't move fast enough.
Yeah, we need political will.
Yes.
Lack of knowledge as well plays a huge part.
We don't even have payment gateways.
We don't have PayPal.
We don't.
PayPal.
You have to have it connected to a South African bank account. You know, all these things are just things that need our government to show the intent and political will to say we want to get this corrected.
You're so right.
I feel like this could be another approach to tackle youth unemployment. There were 500 people attending the conference here, Wodemaya. That means there are 500 people who could remotely earn something.
And it was on a Tuesday. You know, it was on a Tuesday, meaning those people are not in any formal employment.
Unemployed.
Wow.
They are just focused on this content creation.
Because they're seeing other children out there.
Exactly. Imagine if they all had policies that help and regulate what they're doing in the correct manner. How much they would be benefiting.
A lot.
I mean, there's a lot of money. People are making millions out here. They're making millions, and I hope somebody got us.
Yeah, I hope so too.
Guys, you can actually okay, there's one benefit thing you're getting from Wodemaya, Nike getting physically is that of tourism. After the thing when he came, people were like, Sotho, snow. Like we see a lot of people now doing this, and they should actually wake people up. Like, yo, guys, there's something, say something.
But also, he mentioned something also that he, for the longest time, he was not recognized from his home country. He said that thing we like to say. He said they will not recognize you in your country until other countries start seeing you know,
And
this
what you're
thing.
capable
that's
of
what-
doing.
That's what happens in music. We have seen it.
That is done
Malume Vector.
you know.
They started
Yeah.
everyone was like, oh, that's my dog. That's gay.
Yeah.
Once people step out, stepping out is should be
Even our corporates
the
and
only
even the
option.
government started now seeing
Somebody
them
gets the
exactly
They were
after
getting
they
endorsements
became
more
big
than
in
mine.
South Africa,
Yeah.
which is unfortunate.
By the way, I'm leaving Boma next week. So at least still in
leaving gay.
leaving us I need to
Don't break such news so casually like I'm leaving next.
No, relax.
Yeah. But here we get what you're saying.
Yeah.
Speaking of artists, unless you guys don't have anything else to add on the digital colonization.
No.
Now we're good, man.
Yeah, and advertisement too adds on to that. We need powerful people to like start advertising through digital platforms. If these people see your, I get it. Okay, I'm getting back into it again.
But on that one, before we leave it, you're making a very good point. The nice thing about advertising on digital platforms is that they have the figures and the stats to back it.
Yeah.
I'm a proud radio host.
Yeah.
I love radio, but the unfortunate thing about radio is that even our TV itself, they cannot give you the figures to say at this
Listenership.
time we have this million
Nada.
people watching, you know. But if you go to the Jump podcast and you say, okay, how many views do you get?
I mean,
on an average,
even on
they can give you.
both Facebook
Exactly.
insights. You
There's,
get to
you know,
see,
you see,
what's happening with your
That's
content.
the nice part about it. Our radio cannot give you the figures. There's no radio station in the country that can say, well, we have a large listenership on They will tell you, no, it's because there's so many people who call in. The very same person,
based off an
Abidjan
estimation.
Tabo, can call on Radio X at 8 o'clock and call on Radio Z at 5 minutes past 8. They're like, oh, this person immediately, he's done calling Radio X, he switches to Radio Z to also call in there and contribute to the topic there.
Yeah.
And it's not the right way. But for digital, you can tell.
For sure.
The big corporates for Hore, so the invest in the advertising through these platforms. I get Hore, I'm gonna throw a name, Vodacom. Vodacom doesn't necessarily need any influencer or have the reach. But if Vodacom were to say, YouTube, twara 5 million with this 5 million, but to YouTube, we are Lesotho. After every 5 minutes, advert Vodacom. That would actually add money into the people who are creating content, because content that 20-second pause on video. That means you don't that
20-second of your video.
So we also need corporates to invest via those platforms, not by them posting via their accounts. If you get what
I get what you're saying.
Watch YouTube in SA. How do you say also premium? Premium. How should they listen to? 20 seconds later, I said, insurance, you know. But that person, your insurance is advertised via platform. They get a little bit of percentage. So we need everyone. For us to get monetized, we need everyone to put their hands.
I hope they're gonna watch this.
Yeah.
I'm praying they do. I'm praying. No, don't worry. Don't worry. I got this.
Yeah. So getting into being honest about the game and everything, we have our fellow artists they are doing well. They are performing well across the board, like Africa as a whole, not a whole, but Southern Africa,
Europe, Asia. We had Citizen performing in Japan, Sanere performing in Japan.
And congratulations to the fans, to the people, Sotho Kids,
Sotho
out
Kids
here in Europe doing the best.
Omali Temba.
Omali Temba.
They're in France now.
You know, they're touring Europe.
Right?
We'll be back at the end of September. Guys. So, but hey, you know, but now, even though when you're congratulating people, how big do you think our artists gain egos in amongst themselves? As much as they get big, how do you feel like ego is playing a role in their growth, or ego playing a role in their downfall?
It's a broad one. It's a big one.
Yeah.
But I'm an entertainment journalist.
Yeah.
I deal with a lot
All
of
these
these
people.
artists, a lot of them, and some of them, honestly, ego has been their downfall.
Yeah.
You know, there's someone who he's my boy. I'll talk about him because he's my boy. Roy Kat, formerly known as Crazy T. Recently, this week, he made a post about his ex-manager not paying him and da 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 da. It was a long statement.
Like Sotho Kids.
Rebes.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Rebes.
Yeah.
And in that statement, he mentioned a lot of things. He made a lot of good arguments. But in the end, he made one line that really just destroyed everything he said. You know? Luckily, this is not radio. Luckily, this is not TV. So I can say he said girls that he had fucked.
Yeah.
You know.
Rebes is influencing
Rebes was
girls
influencing,
he once fucked
you
to
know,
text him at night in the presence of his wife.
You know,
That's what he said.
and I was like, that was so unnecessary.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
from when he left Sotho Kids, he believed he was big.
Yeah.
I think ego is the reason he left Sotho Kids. He believed he was big. You know, even when he made that statement, I believe he's the one who wrote that statement.
Yeah.
He believes he is big, you know, and now, and he's still a good hustler. I mean, I've seen he sells Bikota, Mabut.
Yeah.
That's bold of him. As an artist, that's very bold, you know. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, when he left, he thought he was big. The ego got in the way, even though what I learned from following the story was the guys were trying to show him that you are our boy. Before you are, I'm the manager.
We made you,
know,
period.
You know, we are still working on your brand. You're not there yet. Give us time. Yes. Don't rush into things.
Yeah,
at that
relax.
time, he wanted to get married.
Yeah.
And they were saying, can't you at least wait it out a bit and sort your finances and other things out and get to where you also will feel that you are financially stable enough. He believed, and to his credit, he still believes that he's financially stable enough to do that. You know? And kudos to him. But sometimes when we are inside something, we don't see. The ego just takes over.
Yeah.
You know.
I think you're getting a little bit of cash here and there. So.
And people also give you that thing. Most of the time, friends are to blame. We pump you. We give you. You are big. You know, you're untouchable. You know.
Yeah.
It happens a lot with a lot of our artists.
I see we got the same story as me.
And they destroy good things in the process. You know, that is an issue that we have to. And unfortunately, when you try to address it, whether it's, especially if we could go in depth and address it in a podcast or on Facebook or on Twitter or on TikTok, there will be the fans who will be attacking you saying, "Oh, jealous."
Yeah.
As about to say that.
Why not destroy or you know, all those things.
Yeah.
But in reality, you're trying to help.
It's not
You know,
there.
you are being genuine.
It's not you attacking
Exactly.
somebody.
It's not
So
from a malicious intent.
It also brings me to the attention, Nina, Sotho Kids. Sotho Kids was also in Japan, right? And then, so there's an incident that happened where Sotho Kids uploaded an 11-second video. So, Haba uploaded the 11-second video. In the video, there were like the modelers. The modelers were in a train, and while they were in the train, they saw this Japanese guy, and then Baba Tabela, hey, how you doing? This, that, you know. Then they started laughing, causing a little bit of noise.
Yeah.
And Wale, I wanted to read something here about making noise in Japan in the train, because it actually became a big
thing.
a big
I haven't
thing.
talked about it.
Wale, what to? while making excessive noise on a train in Japan isn't a criminal offense, it is considered extremely rude and violation of social norms. Japan emphasizes quietness and minimal disturbance to others. Talking loudly, using your phone, or playing music without headphones is strongly discouraged and can draw negative attention.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, now you're a foreigner. Let's say it's your first time, you're excited, you're in Japan. Are we expecting you to, like, they're moving in a large group, man? Are we really expecting them to actually know the laws, or like the social norms? It's not a law. It's a norm. Or again, like I don't know how to. Okay, let's say
for instance, Botswana how but we see it here a lot.
Yeah, it happens.
Oh, yeah.
That one is a law.
It's a law.
I mean, I'm trying to put it in a cultural perspective.
Yeah.
In certain cultures, no,
I get what you mean. You're not high practical, honestly, but it says we really need to be, observant, learn about these things.
Yeah.
Because the manner in which
Yeah, okay. A good example. Shout out to Tsepang for that. He just gave us a good example.
Yeah.
It's a social norm. But now I am kids there, we put respect.
They call you with your first name.
Man, I won't. Before we call your name, so would you actually consider it to us?
Hey.
So would you hold them accountable to a point where you bash them and insult them just because how they are to meet up and make it?
Do you know what caused to response ya bona?
Before it got to that, it started off as the comment and it started off as haha, you guys are funny, you're having a nice trip. And then one Facebook influencer mentioned this social norms. A commenter, no, China.
Yeah.
And then that's when the negativity
started. Yeah.
And then an apology.
Yeah.
But before an apology, the apology was kind of forced out of them by one of the sponsors that took Biabona to Europe. It was forced out. I'll apologize.
Right, cool.
Yeah. Maraloki, I think Bala Uklisisa, where we're coming from.
They didn't.
They didn't.
I had a conversation with Rebez, and I think he actually texted.
Rebez actually called me that morning.
Unless he's saying different things to both
when,
of us.
when he called me, he was asking if what they did is really that wrong. And he what Ten just said, he said it like that. Told me that one of the sponsors wants us to apologize. And I'm standing my ground. I don't understand why we should apologize. We did not do anything illegal. So I don't understand why we should apologize, but I wanted to know if it's that wrong. And we did conclude that this would not have broken out the way it did if that one
individual.
Yes.
Is this person an influencer?
Yeah.
Let's be real.
Okay, Chika influencer. I said his name. Fine. He's an influencer.
You need to stop name dropping. Anyway, it's fine.
But anyway, we're gonna find out. Anyway,
he's a person of influence, not an influencer.
Oh, okay. Or use of like.
I think that way.
Occupation and him doing the work. The work, okay, fine.
But he mentioned it, and then suddenly it blew out. People were now, even those who had initially commented with, you guys are funny, suddenly they're like, why let's
I will.
I'm like, How?
From the
What a
onset,
360-10, you
I was
know?
really against it, but not in a bad way. Ke ne ke bua ka yona at a PR level because they are really big and they are people we are expecting to represent as bohole, especially something as you know, as serious as culture and stuff like that. Na ne ke shebile from a PR perspective. The conversation, I think he asked us the same questions. Because towards the end of our conversation, I was like, yo, no, I get where you're coming from, but honestly, for so and so, you might as well, you get what I mean? Yeah, it was just that. But I do get your point.
Yeah.
I do understand. It's not that really big, but low key it is.
But also,
it's okay to learn.
yeah.
Yeah.
We are
Without
also,
the backlash, right?
We are also allowed to make mistakes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
We
Yeah.
are humans.
Yeah.
It's just an 11-second clip. We're not saying after that battled or anything.
Yeah.
Also, that behavior of us allowing certain
person
individuals
to
to
change the
influence the
narratives.
narrative. And it happens a lot with
of
our
times.
Facebook. A lot. Facebook also, things get blown out of proportion because one person said, and then we're like, yeah,
he's right.
you know.
And then
No, honestly,
Papa
the
also
response threw me off. I won't lie. That's when I was like, nah, you can't say that.
There still wouldn't have been a need for a response.
For that response.
Had that one individual not said, it
But it doesn't make it right. How they responded to the backlash. At a PR level, nah, you're an
which is
agency.
fair. And the PR issue is an issue that a lot of our creatives, not just artists, a lot of our creatives still lack. And even not just in that creative and artistry industry. A few years back, one of the well-established accommodation places was trending for a bad statement, defending themselves on what had happened to people who visit the accommodation venue and all that, and their statement was wrong. And another restaurant put out a statement after an alleged sexual offense happened in their place, and it was a very, you know, I don't know. The statement was just naked.
It was wrong.
It was wrong.
Period.
So PR is still an issue that we have in our country.
But I love Khabis so much. I love his character. He's going far.
Now, everybody in the professional space, if you're going to involve social media in your thing, you gotta hire people who can actually conduct themselves.
True. That's a life.
So PR is another point you have to they should heavily invest.
And it's serious.
We need fixers. We need
You could
PR
literally
gurus.
lose everything just because of one word. Shebai and Aruikat, just because of that one statement, we're like, fuck that.
And he went back and deleted it. I mean,
But what's the point? You know,
he was emotional at the time. He got carried by emotions.
This is why he needs a PR.
Anyway, on that high note, we have to close the show. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. If you made it this far, this is the Jump Podcast. We discuss controversial conversations sometimes, but
sometimes.
but also remember to visit Twiggy to get this nice aesthetics for your home, for your office. Yeah, you can use them anywhere basically. And we're shooting live at Panda Nightclub. Yeah, they're open from Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and sometimes Monday. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'll make sure I get to know that.
Yeah.
But hey, thanks for watching. Share with your friends. Subscribe, like,
Comment.
say jump.
Jump.
We out, baby.